So, PTSD is a mental illness and it's an anxiety disorder. So, as you should know, that PTSD is basically reliving the trauma of the past, having suffering with the fears of it, and still going through it even though it's like far gone now. People can live with this up to the rest of their lives. So, you may be wondering, how many people actually fully die from it? About 27% of people said that were actually talked to said that they have had suicidal thoughts of it. So that puts a connect link with PTSD and suicide, which if you are a family member of this person, it kind of causes fear and doubt and stress continuing. Here is a picture of how suicide and PTSD looks like in your head, with all the different colors and how it is with or without suicide. But no worry, there is a solution. There's a treatment called physiological therapy, which is basically a talk therapy. It helps the person relive through the events, but heal from it over time. The sessions can either be one-on-one, or it can be in a group of 16 people for about 10 to 12 times. This is a graph of how treatment is over time and how it's successful over time.
Most common symptoms are the ones that are often most difficult to recognize. Avoidance. It's human nature to avoid what's painful, right? So we avoid thinking about anything that's painful if we can. We avoid our emotions. We avoid going back to places that remind us of our trauma. But so that could be, and it may not be as obvious, because as trauma, we think of it as our memory for trauma as being becoming cues to fear. And so it may, and those generalize out from the specific event. So you could have been at the World Trade Center and perhaps not even been in the building, but outside witnessing it. And then over time, you'll become afraid of tall buildings. So we had a patient who actually broke up with her fiance because he lived on the 30th floor of an apartment building, and she was terrified to go into his building. Of course, she said that she was breaking up with him because they didn't get along, and there were a whole host of other problems. The good news is that after treatment, she realized that she was just scared to go into his building, and they got back together and they got married. But at the time, she had no recognition that she was avoiding his home because it reminded her of being at the World Trade Center.
So if by any chance you or a family member or even someone you don't know has PTSD, go out and get help, because